module 2. So in the previous session we had discussed with the first 2 chapters of this module 2. The first chapter is what we have discussed is about what the complete basic file attributes, okay, and its permission, followed by next we discussed with what shell interpreter cycle chapter. The next chapter in this is what essential shell programming or essential shell itself. So what actually this essential shell programming represent here, that is essential. So in the module 2 the next chapter is essential shell programming. So in this essential shell programming concept, what we are going to actually discuss in this, as I mentioned in the previous session also. So in this essential shell programming concept, we are going to understand how to actually write a simple shell script program or just shell script. Shell script program we can't mention, instead either shell script or shell program we have to mention here, or we need to refer. So here how to write this shell programming. So as we know that in the Unix system, whatever the content we are trying to access or the information or the resource we are trying to access, all is being done through the commands itself, right. So here also the program what we are going to write, that is the shell program, it also consists of a collection of commands. Okay, so using those commands you are going to execute here. So it is going to first, as in C, how to usually what happens in C program and all. So in the C program, once you edit your program, so that complete program will be compiled and you are going to get the output, right. After debugging it, you are going to get the output. But here instead of that, what it does is, since each and every line within the shell program or the shell script is with respect to the command line itself here is, so each and every line will be first interpreted by the shell, then it is going to be executed. Those collection of command lines, that is shell command lines, will be interpreted by the shell and finally you are going to get the output of it. Okay, and here the shell script or the shell program should always be stored under the extension .sh extension. So that I will let you know once I write the simple program how to write a shell script. Okay, but what and all the contents what we are going to discuss in this chapter. So in this chapter we are going to discuss with initially how a shell interpreter line, so by using which line the shell is going to interpret each and every command. Okay, so that information will be understanding initially, followed by next we are going to understand how the shell is going to interact with the user for getting the input from the user. So that is done through one of the command called read command. Okay, so that is one of the interactive command which is usually used for what, providing the input from getting the input from the user. Next we are going to discuss with what, the next concept within this is the control statements itself. So we are going to understand the control statement constructs like if statement, while statement, do while statement, case statement. Instead of switch, here we are going to use what, case statement. So these are the control constructs what we are going to understand in this. Along with that, even we are going to understand the exit and exit status command. Okay, so that command, what actually this exit command does, so that we are going to understand, followed by positional parameters. So we are going to understand the positional parameter, few of the positional parameters like $1, $2. So we'll understand what actually this positional parameter and for what it has been useful. Next we are going to understand with the behavior of the terminal, that is trap command. So what is the behavior of a terminal, how it is going to be worked, so that will be understood by using the trap command. Next we are going to use a few more commands like test command and all. So with that of what, if controls construct. So by using this if construct, there actually we are going to use this test command within the if statement for actually comparing the string and testing for the string. Okay. Next we are going to discuss with the other set of commands like set and shift command. So these two commands again is useful for manipulating the positional parameters. So how you can manipulate the positional parameters by using this set and shift. So these are the few concepts or few commands which you will be understood in this particular programming chapter, that is essential shell programming. And not but the least, at the end, after understanding all these constructs of shell script, how to write a program by using all these constructs, at the end we will be knowing actually how to write a complete shell script program. Okay. So, this is what you are going to understand in this particular chapter. Okay. So, initially as I said, we are going to understand with what how the shell scripts are executed, and how the shell scripts are executed, and what is the role of what interpreter line. So, initially we are going to understand about the shell script and about the interpreter line. So, what is this interpreter line and what is this shell script is? So, what is this shell script? So, as I said, shell script actually it consists of a collection of commands. In the shell script or the shell program, it consists of a collection of program. As we are if we write a C program, so there we will be having the main header files followed by main function followed by what logical statements and printf scanf statements, right. So, here instead of that, always will be have the first line will be the interpreter line followed by the set of command lines. So, and for the execution purpose, we are going to include all these command lines instead of a logical statement. So, even the logical statements can also be included as a construct. Even for that we do have a syntax. Again, so syntax is going to be varied from that of the other programming language when we compare with that of shell script or the shell program. So, first let us know what is this shell script. So, as I said, shell script is nothing but it is a collection of command lines. Okay. Then what is this interpreter line? What is this interpreter line then? So, this is one of the line which is used for, so as in C program. So, initially what we are going to give, so there we are going to provide what header files, right. So, here we are going to provide what interpreter line. So, what does this interpreter line do here in the shell script or in the shell program? So, this is going to interpret the commands, whatever the command line you have given as an input for that particular program, shell program. So, that will be interpreted by using which shell prompt. So, for knowing that, you have to provide for executing all those commands under that particular directory path, you are going to use this. So, one is with the Bourne shell and the other one is con is a derivative of this Bourne shell. Okay. So, con is derivative of this Bourne shell. So, Bourne shell has been represented with sh, con shell with ksh. Okay. Likewise, we have C shell. This C shell is represented with CSH, and the derivative of this C shell is what? TCSH. Okay. So, these are the different representatives. Under this Bourne, we do have one more, that is bash shell, that is BSH. Okay. It has been represented with bash itself. Okay. So, these are the different derivatives of what? The Bourne and C shell. So, the Bourne shell is itself is represented with sh, and its derivatives are con and bash shell, and C shell is represented itself with CSH and its derivative is TCSH. Okay. So, these are the different offerings or the representatives of what? Shell. So, in any one of these representatives will be used for executing all your shell commands. Either the Bourne shell it will be used for executing your shell commands, or con shell, that is KSH representative will be used, or the bash shell it will be used, or C shell CSH will be used, or TCSH its derivative it can be used. Either of these shell offerings might be used for executing all your shell commands in the Unix operating system. Okay. So, and all these have been stored under the path /bin. Okay. So, it has been stored, all these representatives of shell has been stored under this /bin. So, if the user want to know under which representative is working, its means, so you can just execute what? Home that is the shell variable. So, here this is one of the shell variable which is used for what? Knowing which shell representative you are trying to what you are executing all your Unix command. For knowing that, you can just use this $shell. Okay. So, now let me consider this example now. So this is about your shell offerings. Okay, that is, these are the different offerings or the representatives which has been used. So for executing any shell script or a shell command itself, either one of this shell offerings will be used or representatives will be used. So as of now, this is the Bourne shell. It is like a parent shell for what? Corn and bash, right? So if you have written executed under this sh, and if you are trying to execute your commands by using the corn shell, means even that is also possible. But usually we go with what? This Bourne shell itself. So only I have given what? Sh. Even you can give ksh also if the shell prompt what you are using is of what? Corn shell. But as of now, here we are using the sh, that is Bourne shell. So /bin/sh. So under this directory path, all these commands have to get executed, and all these commands has to get interpreted. Executed, the more meaning will be what? Interpreted. All these commands will get interpreted under this directory. That is by using this sh variant or the sh representative. Bourne shell, using this Bourne shell, it is going to interpret all the commands what I have enclosed under this script program. Okay, and finally after interpreting it, it will be passed on to what? Kernel. Kernel will execute the program and you will get the output. So now this is one example, simple example of showing how to write a simple script. Okay, here I have just used those commands which is just going to display the output. So one simple example what I have considered here is for displaying the date and calendar of today, this month's calendar and today's date. So here first line always it should be what? The interpreter line. So ash not equal to /bin/sh. So this is compulsory, this is mandatory, you have to include this line, followed by this is optional. Okay, either you can include this line or it is an optional. But if you include means obviously you will be knowing what type of program or the script you are executing, that will be known. So ash represent here the comment line for this particular. Okay, so for script.sh it will just describe what is the script is all about. So it is a sample shell script. So we are trying to execute a sample shell script. So it is going to describe you what the simple what is the script is all about. Next is what? Echo today's date is. So here since I have enclosed with the double quotes the complete message today's date is, but if I want to interpret this date command, I have to enclose this with what? Backtick. So this is the backtick, you have to enclose that. So if you doesn't give and if you just give date means it doesn't execute. So always you should enclose that with a backtick, then only you have to enclose that in what? Double quotes. So this will let you what? Today's date. Output will be today's date is means, so it is going to display today's date here. Okay, next is what? This month's calendar will be displayed. So this month's calendar, this message will be displayed. Below that cal date, so it should display me the date with the date, that is the month number and the year. So the month number of today's is what? So if I consider this is September, right? So September, month is 09 and 2020, and the calendar will be displayed here, and below that my shell. So this is going to be displayed. My shell is, so this shell is bin/sh. So this will be displayed. Okay, so for this is how it has been shown, right? So this is how we are going to write. So now for execution after editing, so I didn't tell you about like where actually you have to edit the program, right? So I was just telling, like I had said you that script you have to store all your files, script files under script.sh file, right? So for editing these command, that is a program, complete script program, either you have to use one of the editor called vi editor, or you can use either Pluma editor which is already available in your Linux operating system, like that. Okay, if this Pluma editor is not there, you can just use a default editor which is always will be there in the Unix operating system, that is vi editor. So you can just use this vi editor. So for opening a file, either in any of this editors. So vi space file name dot sh. So this is with vi editor. So for Pluma space file name dot sh. So this is going to open with a window screen. So within that you are going to edit all these lines. So this entire program will be edited under that editor. After editing, so you can just close that window screen in the Pluma editor, whereas in the vi editor you can't just close that editor. Instead you have to use what? Actually this is not there. So if you are working under vi editor means, so for closing, for inserting a character itself, you have to use what? Insert command by pressing what? I for editing your content. After editing, for coming out of it, you have to, that is saving and exiting from the editing mode, just press what? Escape, then colon, W for saving, Q not equal to for quitting from that particular program. So you have to save in this way. Insert I for entering into editing mode, and from after editing, if you want to come out of that editing mode, just press escape colon W, Q not equal to, W is for save, Q is for quitting from the program. But in Pluma editor you can just what? Edit your program as in with other editors, okay, like your notepad and textpad, like that. So you can just edit your program, close that window. For execution, since usually what happens is all your files, whatever you are going to create, so those files will not be in the executable mode. The permission will not be set for that execution. So for that you have to provide the permission by using the change modification command or change the permission. So ch plus x followed by file name dot sh. Okay. So chmod plus assign the execution permission for file name dot sh. So for this file name is what? Script dot sh, right? So ch plus x script dot sh. So assign the execution permission for script dot sh. Then execute for executing your program, you can just execute script dot sh. So this will get you the output now. Below this exactly you will get the output. Output is like today's date is. So today's date will be displayed here. Next, this month calendar will be displayed. So below this, today is September with 09/2020. So this will be displayed here, complete month. Next, my shell is /bin/sh. So this will be displayed. So this is what the output you will be displayed if you execute script.sh. So you can just execute script.sh. Okay, so this is the execution command. So for the execution of any file of a script, you can use what? Script.sh. So this is for assigning the execution permission for that particular file, script.sh. Why we have to assign explicitly here is there are few chances like once the file has been created, any scripting file or any other file, execution permission will not be assigned. So just to assign the execution permission, you have to use this change mode command, which we have already discussed in basic file attributes and permission, right? So chmod plus is for assigning, x is for execution permission for script.sh file. So this is about your creating your simple shell script. Okay, so now you have understood where to edit your shell script, how to execute your shell script, and within your shell script what and all will be there within the shell script, right? So even you can, here I have just used what few of the commands for displaying the output. So what if in case there might be chances of like what reading the input from the user also. So through the user you can interact and provide the input for the command, and you can execute that command also, right? There are options are also there, right, for providing the input from the user and executing the command. So for interacting that way, we have one of the command called read command. So read is one of the command for interacting with that of the user. Okay, let me show you with one command, interactive command line. So interactive command line has been done by using what? This read command. Okay, so this is one of the command which is used for what? Making the script interactive. So if the script has to be made interactive, that is providing the input from the user and making it the script itself as an interactive means, then you can use this read command, followed by here you have to provide the name. So name is nothing but it might be any input variable name which you are going to give, and here you shouldn't, and one more thing here, the variable within the shell script here, it has been always defined with $name like this for storing a string, or $n for storing a number like this. So this is the variable representation within the shell. So this is variable declaration. But while providing the variable name for the read command, no need of providing this dollar symbol here. So this is not acceptable. So this you can't give. You can just give read followed by the variable name. Okay. But while accessing this variable name, like while echoing this name, you have to always give that with what? $name. So this you should be no. Okay, so while using the variable name with that of read for providing the input or giving the input for the shell script means no need of using the dollar symbol, but while displaying the same variable name for output, you have to use this dollar symbol. This is mandatory. Okay, so let me write one simple example for you people and show you. So this is one simple example of making the shell script interactive from the user. So how we are going to get the input from the user. So this is one simple example of showing you how we are going to interact with that of the user here. So let me consider here. So here I have considered the file name as what? emp.sh. So as I said, this interpreter line is mandatory. So this you have to give. And for reading the name, that is for making the making the shell script as an interactive, we are going to use what? A read command for reading the input. So that I have used here, read. So here I am trying to use read what? 2 inputs. Okay, by using a read command, echo, enter the pattern to be searched. So here what I am in this particular scripting file, what I am trying to execute or show you the output as what? I am going to read a pattern from a file which is already there from an existing file. Let me consider that existing file as what? emp.txt file. Okay. So from this existing file, emp.txt file, I do have a list of employee details in that emp.txt file. So from that file, I am trying to read the input pattern from that particular file emp.txt and display that particular pattern. Wherever that pattern has been present, that line to be printed out in my output. So that is what the program is all about. So in the emp.sh script file, I am trying to read the input as a pattern from a file. So 2 inputs have been provided here. One is the pattern name and the other one is the file name. So the pattern name should be provided, followed by file name. The file name is emp.txt. Pattern, whichever the pattern you want, either the employee name or employee designation, whatever the pattern you want to search for. So that will be searched. So that should be provided by using this p name as a input. Next, file name has to be provided as an input. Next, searching for that pattern name from file f name. Next, so how we are going to search a pattern? By using a grep command, right? So that grep command has to be provided. So grep followed by the pattern name, next from which file. Finally, after executing this command, it will display selected records shown above. So, what will be the output you are going to get? Again, once you have edited this program, you have to what? Provide the execution permission for this particular file. So, after editing the program in an editor, either in the Pluma editor or in the VI editor, you have to do what? You have to provide the permission mode, chmod plus x emp.sh. Okay, so this you have to give this permission more has to be assigned for the file emp.sh. Next, for execution emp.sh has to be executed. So this file name as a command itself, you have to execute the what? For the execution of this particular script file emp.sh. After this, after executing the output command line, so what happens here? So here actually it is going to display me with what? The next, since I am executing emp.sh file, so it should display me with enter the pattern to be searched. So here immediately below it will ask me to enter the pattern to be searched. Okay, so I might give, so what does this /c represent in both the echo statement? So /c represents the cursor has to be placed at the same line, and it should just give the enter after entering the content here. So it will be placed, the cursor will be placed even after entering the content here itself. So here I might give the pattern as what? The name itself or the designation. So designation I might give director. Okay, so I will give what? The designation as director here. So this director will be search, the pattern will be searched for the searched is for what? Director. Next it will ask me to enter the file. So from which file this director pattern has to be searched, enter the file to be used, So the file here is what? emp.txt file. So it is going to look into that file emp.txt file. Next, searching for, so this line will be displayed, searching for pattern is what? Director, and from file emp.txt. So this line will get displayed here. So while accessing the variable name, you have to what? Give $ here, as I have specified here. While explaining the read command, I said that while reading the input by using the read command, no need to use what? $ symbol, but while accessing for displaying that variable name, you have to use what? $ here. So director from, this is the pattern, this is the file name. So next it will execute the command. Immediately after this line displays, it is going to execute the command, grep command, grep, pattern is director, file name is emp.txt. So this command will get executed, and wherever the director pattern is there in the emp.txt file, so that line will be displayed, and after that this message will be displayed, selected records shown above. So this is how a simple shell script is going to be executed by interacting with that of the user. So in the initial example, I have shown you like how to write a simple script itself, shell script, followed by next I have shown you like how to read that is how to make the shell script itself as what? Interactive, by getting the input from the user. So this is about your how to interact with the shell script. Okay, argument. So what is this using command line argument represent here? So command line argument means what? So usually here what happens while executing your shell script, you are going to provide the execution command line, right? So their execution command line. So if you want to know the arguments, what and all the arguments you have provided for reading, how many arguments you have been provided, and whether you want to know the number of arguments you have provided. So for all these, knowing the command line argument, we define that as what? Position positioning parameters, that is positional parameters. We refer all those command line arguments with what? Positional parameters. So we do have few of the positional parameters like $1, $2, $3 and so on until we do have till $9. Okay. Likewise, next we do have $, we do have $ash. Okay. Next we do have $0. So this $1, $2, $3, what it represent, this positional parameters, what it represent here is, so this is going to represent with the number of arguments what you have provided as an input. Like in the previous example I had given for reading the a file name and a pattern, right? So those will be stored under $1 and $2. So first argument line or the first argument what you are going to provide as an input, it will be stored under this $1, $2. $, what it represent here, it stores the complete set of what? Stores complete set of positional parameters. So this is going to store the complete set of positional parameters. Then what does this $ash represent here? So $ash represent, it is going to set the number of arguments. So $* represent what? It is going to store the complete set of positional parameters, whereas $ash represent a set of number arguments. So how many number of arguments? So that set will be displayed by using this $ash. Next $0, this is going to hold the command line itself. So whatever the command line you have given, that will be represented by using this $0. So this is what about your command line arguments. So we are going to discuss more about this in the next session, that is what is this $1, $2, $3, how it has been used within a program. So that we will discuss in the next example here. Okay, so let me show you that example itself, and in the next session we will discuss more about, and I am going to show you with more example also. So this is about your what the positional parameters what I discussed so far in the previous topic, like how it has been used in this simple example I have shown here. So what actually this program, so after editing this again, as I said, every time you have to provide what? The permission mode. So this has been stored under with the .sh extension. The file name is emp1.sh. So command plus x followed by what? emp1.sh. You are assigning the permission for what? Execution. Next you have to execute the program, right? So this is the program. Okay, so for the program is what? emp1.sh. So here command line argument. So within this command line, so this is the command for executing your program, emp1.sh. Since I have to provide the input, right, because here I have not used any read command for providing the input, but here I have used what? grep command $1, $2. So what is this? So I am trying to search for a pattern which is stored with the $1 positional parameter, and from the file again within this $2 positional parameter file name has been stored. So how do I read that? So that can be done. So using command line argument, so these parameters or this positional parameter, what it does is whatever the command line I have provided as in for the execution, so there the arguments what I have given here. So here emp1.sh with the director pattern. Okay, this will be stored with what? $1 positional parameter. Next director from the file emp.txt. So this argument will be stored with the second positional parameter. So that is what I said. So $1, $2 up to $9. So it can accept 9 arguments with that particular command line as an input for the that is during the execution of that program. So emp1.sh is a program you are executing, and you are providing the input argument for this command itself, which will be stored with $1 and $2. So in $1 now I have director, in $2 I have what? emp.txt file. Then what is this $0 represent? So after providing this, the output will be displayed as what? So the output will be displayed as program. So $0 what it represent? As I said, the command line itself. So the command line here is what? emp1.sh. So this command line will be displayed with $0. Next, the number of arguments. So the number of arguments, how many arguments have given? So for knowing the number of arguments which has been stored with $1, $2, all the positional parameters, how many arguments I have given? That is 2. So the number of argument specified here is what? That will display with 2. Next, the arguments are, so what and all the arguments you have provided which will be stored under this $star. So as I said, $star represent, it is going to know you that is which and all the arguments. So those arguments which has been stored with the positional parameters, that will be listed out. Whereas $hash, it is going to list you what? The set of or the number specified with that of number of arguments specified with that of what? $hash. So now it will show me the arguments are. The arguments are what? Which and all the arguments, positional arguments I have provided. $1 is director, $2 is emp.txt. So arguments are, one is director and the other argument is emp.txt. So this is what the output, and after that this is going to get executed. So director pattern, where and all the director pattern is there from the emp.txt. So those lines will be displayed, and after that it will display job over. So that is what I have displayed here is echo job over. So that will be displayed here. So this is about your how to use your positional parameters, that is using command line argument. So this is the command line argument. Okay. So in this command I have given 2 arguments which will be stored with positional parameter $1 and $2. For knowing the set of numbers, how many arguments have been provided, that will be displayed using this $hash, and $star will display the argument name itself, and $0 will display what? The command line itself. So the command line here is what? emp1.sh. So this is about your how to use your command line argument using positional parameter. So this is about your today's session. So in today's session we have discussed with what? In the essential shell programming, how to write a simple program using this shell script. So initially we discussed with what is a shell script is, next what is an interpreter line is, then which and all the shell offerings or the shell representatives are, followed by a simple example of this shell, next followed by what? How to interact a user with that using a read command with the script or with a program. Next, positional parameters we have discussed. Okay, so in the next session we will discuss more about this by using few more commands in the next session. Okay, thank you all.